Hi again, Koi Kamal here from Traveler Vogue, and I am now about to get into the cooking courtesy of Naivas Prestige Plaza, who have just unveiled their new look supermarket. It's a fresh new look. All their produce is so amazing. It's fresh, it's green, it's amazing. So what I decided to do is go to Prestige Plaza and make a bit of, or rather put together a bit of a shopping list for my next cooking show. So today I'm going to be making for you a 3-course meal. We'll have a starter, an appetizer, and a main course, and of course some drinks. Now, I think we all know the secret to any wine-infused, or rather good wine-infused food is pouring a glass of wine, nosing it, and definitely taking a sip before you start cooking. Now let's get cooking. So I want to show you guys the ingredients we're going to be using for our starter. Mushrooms. So I like to mix cremini mushrooms as well as button mushrooms. We have thyme, onion, basil, and obviously garlic. Red wine. We have black pepper, some kosher salt, some all-purpose flour, some cooking cream, and some chicken stock. And then we definitely have our baguette, which we will be doing garlic and butter baguette. So we'll start by preparing the garlic bread, and what I'll need is garlic, basil, butter, and the bread. So let's get into it. Next, for the bread, we're gonna have some chopped basil, so we'll take the butter, mix it in with the basil. You need about 4 teaspoons. So we'll just use all of it. And then we'll set this aside as we wait for the garlic to roast. So we'll come back to the bread a bit later. Now let's get into the soup, my favorite part. So what we're gonna do is wash these up and then cut them. Now, I definitely love cutting up my mushrooms into very small pieces. So take your 1 onion and slice it. Now that we're done with the onion, we'll take our thyme, and now you will need to come with me into the kitchen. So let's go cook. So I'm a big fan of butter, so it goes without saying that I use either butter or ghee in all of my cooking. Now the trick with butter and cooking it so that it doesn't burn before you put your items is adding a little bit of olive oil around the butter. This will ensure that the butter actually does not burn because it cooks very fast. So start in with your onion. Now what I like to do with my onion is saute it under low heat until it becomes soft and sweet, because the sweetness actually gives a really good taste to the rest of the food that you're eating. So in all of your foods, if you want to take away that very salty taste from onion, saute it for a little while. So after your 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how your onions actually look, mine have started yellowing. That means they've started becoming sweet and they're quite soft. So we add our mushroom in. Mix it up. Now what will happen is, after we cover the mushroom, it will start having the mushroom juices will actually start coming out. So we don't need to add any oil or any water at this particular point, or any particular liquid, because we want the mushroom to get the taste from the onion, that sweet taste from the onion. So we're gonna cover this for about 7 minutes. Okay, so it's time to check on our mushrooms, and they look nice and soft. Now what I want to do is get the mushroom into sort of like a thick, give it a bit of a thick base. So we'll add all-purpose flour. And let that cook together just for about a minute or two. So make sure you mix it really well so that it evenly cooks. As you can see, the mushroom is already looking quite thick. So we're gonna cover it for a little bit. Remember to cook this under low heat. Okay, this is now nicely cooked through. Now what we're gonna do is put some chicken broth. So we'll just start with a little bit of it. And then we'll go in with some more, a lot more of it. Because you want to create a thick soup out of the mushroom. We'll just add a bit of that. And we'll keep the rest of the chicken soup for our main course. So we'll let this cook a little bit, just for about a minute or two. So you can now add a bit more fire onto your food. And what you want to do next is put some tarragon into your food. This gives it a really nice, rich taste. So we let the tarragon cook for about 2 minutes under medium heat. Oh, that looks so good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of it and blend it just to give it that extra thickness. I'll actually just take half of it and then I'll leave the rest. So we're gonna blend this. So let's get blending. So our mushroom is nice and thick. So we're going to return it into the chunkier bits on the pot. Okay? So we're going to pour out our thickened mushroom soup. I love my mushroom soup, guys. So I have to get everything, as much as I can, out of that blender. Okay, so once you're done with that, just mix the two up. And then remember that wine that we started with, that we had to have a taste of? This is where it comes in. And you just pour a little bit, because I don't like a very strong wine taste in my food. The best wine to use for this would be sherry wine, but unfortunately I couldn't find one, so I'm using a basic red wine. For cooking, normally you just use your basic red wines. And after this, what you want to do is add your cooking cream, your heavy cream. Notice how the color has changed from a very deep brown to a nice light creamish color. Now, in my homestead, I normally don't put salt in my food. I put it at the table. But today, I like salt, but some people in my home don't. So today, because I'm cooking for some different guests, I will be putting some salt and pepper. A little bit of black pepper. Now let's taste that. I think I will let my guests be the judges as opposed to me being the judge. But our food is ready. It's ready to be served. I'm just gonna cook it for about half a minute. Okay, our soup is ready to be served. Now that we're done with the soup, let's get into the garlic bread. So I've got my baguette from Naivas Supermarket. Look at how sharp that knife is. So what I'll do, I'm gonna cut, remember, Naivas has bread knives as well, so you wanna get the full kit. So whenever you're cutting your bread, make sure you're using the bread knife. It cuts much more better than the normal kitchen knife. So I'm gonna cut this baguette into two, halfway through. And then what I'm gonna do is slice the middle. Please be careful because these knives are extremely sharp. Now that we have our baguette slices, I'm just going to put this slightly aside so that we can have our mixture, we can do our mixture. So remember, we put some garlic in the oven. We put it in there for about an hour. Now it's become nice and soft. It's quite hot. So let's see if I'm able to do this with my own two hands. So what you want to do is squeeze the garlic out. Just look at how nice and soft the roasted garlic is. Make sure to not get the skin in. Okay, we'll take the next garlic. You want to just squeeze it out. Oh, that is so satisfying, guys. So satisfying. Okay, now it really depends if you're a big lover of garlic. I love garlic, so I'm gonna use 3 of them. Just squeeze all that yumminess and then mix that up. It becomes very easy to mix because it's nice and soft and fluffy. And it also, what it does, because the garlic is very hot, it melts the butter as well. Make sure it's nicely and evenly mixed up. You want to take your spreading spatula and then take your bread and start spreading that mix on the bread. To make it easy, you can actually just take your spoon, spread it around, and then use your spatula to spread it. Make sure you've evenly coated the bread. So now that you've coated your bread with your mix, it's ready to go into the oven for about 15 minutes. So we give this 15 minutes to achieve a very nice, yummy crust. So we'll put it into the oven now. So now we're done with our starters, which was our mushroom soup and our garlic bread. So I'm just gonna serve a bit of it and see what it tastes like. I haven't really tasted much of it, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna figure out what I did today. It's a very creamy soup. And this is the only creamy soup that I like, other than the pumpkin soup. And it can be very filling, so you don't want to have too much of it if you're gonna have a main course and an appetizer and a main course. Then I'm gonna go into the bread, and I want to see if it's crunchy. Even before I go into the bread, I know I love myself too much, so I'm gonna garnish my own soup as much as I'm the one who made it and I'm gonna drink it. So I'm gonna garnish it with a bit of basil. That's how it looks. Let's see what this tastes like. Now, anytime you take soup, don't ever scoop your soup towards you. Scoop it outside of you. So scoop it outside and then clean it up. You can either put it on your bread or you can taste your bread and then have your soup. So I'm gonna have my bread first because I really want to taste it. I want to see what kind of a job that I did. Can you hear the crunch? You know what? I'm not gonna have this by myself. I'm gonna call a good friend of mine who came over to support me to try this. So Naomi, come over, girl.
Hi guys.
So
This looks so good, Koi.
does it?
Yes. I want to try the soup first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it good? Girl,
What?
you're lying.
You did this?
I did this.
It's so flavorful. Can I
Thank
have
you.
more, please?
Now try the bread.
Oh wait, can I have the last one, please?
Yes, absolutely. Go for it. Go for it. So it's actually my
love
first
it.
time making garlic bread.
lying.
I've never made garlic bread before.
You're
I've
kidding me.
actually never made mushroom soup either. I've only made pumpkin soup.
You're kidding me, Koi. It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good. It's so yummy. It has very good flavors. in
Yeah?
it. It's so yummy. It's so creamy, yummy. It's everything awesome. You guys are missing out.
Oh, thank you, girl. Thank you.
So do we test
Going
the bread
for the
now?
bread. Yeah, going for the bread.
All right.
Absolutely.
Can I have the same one?
Yes,
you did?
please, by all means. We've all been tested, so we're good. Is it nice and crunchy? Can you taste a bit of garlic?
God, you're cooking at my wedding.
Ah!
You're cooking in my wedding.
Maybe I should change careers at this point.
know,
Huh?
right? It's so
Go
good.
into catering. Like
I'm
a little
telling
bit.
you.
Yeah?
It's so good, Corey.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm glad.
Cheers, guys.
And I'm hoping that you will also be tasting my appetizer. I've made beef carpaccio.
I'm here to taste everything.
Are you here to taste
I'm
everything?
here to taste everything.
I love it. I love
But
it.
so far, it's
okay.
so good.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
my girl Naomi loved it. I hope you guys can make it. So I'm gonna be dropping all my recipes and everything. But you guys make it. Tell me what you think. Tell me how it turns out. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. So we're gonna go on to our last meal of the day, which is our main course. And we're gonna be making prawn risotto. I found prawn, or rather I discovered risotto, seriously, I'm being very serious, about a month and a half ago. And I've not bought any rice in my house ever since, because risotto is so light. You literally do not feel filled up, and it just goes so well with seafood. Oh, I cannot wait to show you. So in the meantime, I'm gonna be enjoying my bread and my soup, and I'll catch you in a few minutes.